This is John Zaninovich. Welcome to Move My Mass. You'll be hearing from great guests talk about balancing life and being fit. Hey, welcome to the show, Lisa.
Hi, thanks.
Glad to have you on Move My Mass.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I know that you train Davida Dellis.
I do.
Privately, and she told me you got to have her on. So if this goes well, you can thank her. If it doesn't, you can hurt her a little bit. In the next session, it'll go well. I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
But anyway, I when she did mention it to me, I knew you were a personal trainer, but looking you up and figuring out what you do, Bakersfield Adventure Boot Camp.
Yeah. Tell
me about that. You started it in 2007. Is that correct?
Does
that sound right?
Believe so. Yeah.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. It was interesting. My start, I was a PE teacher. Uh-huh. I had stayed home with my kids, and I started subbing when the youngest started school. And then I received a call to teach PE, and the school year had started. So I was like, okay, I didn't really want to be in a full-time everyday job.
Okay.
But I took it, and I was miserable. I was kind of given all the kids who were kicked out of the other schools. The facilities just weren't really what I envisioned. Mm-hmm. It's just the whole everything, the vibe. So during that, well, I guess it was November. It was about this time of year, and I was visiting my sister-in-law's sister in Arizona. She went to a women's boot camp, and she said, Lisa, you need to start one of these in Bakersfield. She said, every time I go, I think of you. So I thought about it for a while, and I looked it up, and I looked into it. And during that year, I got my personal trainer certificate. So I studied, during my prep periods and stuff while I was teaching. Right. And then at the end of the year, I didn't have a credential. So it was kind of like, are they going to hire me back or not? And I was like, that will be my sign. So they went for somebody credentialed, and I was like, thank God.
Right.
So right. I took my, did my certification, started having little outdoor fitness classes with people that I knew to get ready. And then I went and did a weekend-long training to become an adventure boot camp fitness coach.
Okay. And what the goal behind a boot camp, is that to get somebody jump-started into fitness, or can it be part of their general fitness program? What's the main goal behind the boot camp?
It's a general, I would say, because most of my campers, is what I call them, have been with me for years and years and years.
Okay.
So I would say the name boot camp is a little intimidating, but back then, in 2007, 2006, it really was just outdoor fitness. Using a lot of your body weight, not having a lot of equipment, not being in a gym. That was more the idea. It wasn't a, instructor, in your face kind of thing that you would think. So it is a little bit intimidating, the name boot camp. But yeah, it's really just an everyday come out.
So it's meant to be part of a general workout program. Like you can just keep going.
Yep.
Because I have to admit, when I read boot camp or I see that, I think it's either an not intro to fitness, but yeah, it's something to get you jump started.
Right.
Or maybe you're a little bit bored, or you're hitting some lulls in your own program and you got to just kick it up a level. Mm-hmm. But this can truly be like your consistent everyday program.
Right. What I found, in the years that, as I was kind of going on with this from the beginning, is that it was all women, mm-hmm. and there was a sense of camaraderie, and you have a workout partner. Women like to go somewhere with their friends. You know, we go to the bathroom together.
Right. Go work out.
So you grab your girls. Well, you have your friends there. Once you go, a few times, you start to make your friends. You have that group, the camaraderie of it, and you just want to keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So describe a day. What would be a typical day at boot camp?
Typical day. Today.
And I asked this. I'm asking this for myself, also for the listeners. That I really don't know.
Right.
What's involved in boot camp workouts.
Today, we get there, we warm up, and then it's an hour. So what I like about that, I have the flexibility because I own my own business and I don't have a facility. So I have the luxury of time. I don't have to rush through a warm up and I don't have to rush through a cool down.
Okay.
We have the time to do those things because it's an hour class. So that's wonderful. We did a HIIT workout today. I did a little push-up pyramid first, and then we did some high-intensity interval training stuff. I get a lot of women of different ages, different fitness levels. So I'm really big on showing modifications and just meeting everybody's needs. So I had somebody today, first day, she had a surgery on her wrist this summer. So, we can do this instead. We can, change it up.
Yeah.
So that was good. But the umbrella, boot camp, it doesn't limit me. I can throw in yoga. I can throw in Pilates. I can throw in an obstacle course or, and the thing that I like is that every day is different. And then I can see what we're doing, what this group is doing, this specific group. And I plan every single camp the night before.
Okay.
So I could just go back to an old, a whole month and just go to and do that exact same workout I did in, 2015.
Yeah.
November 2015, but I won't because I want to be specific to this group.
And do you put your workout out online beforehand, or do people find out what the workout is when they get there?
When they get there. Yeah. So they don't have to think, which they love.
That is nice about a program.
And, because that's one of the things when you go to a gym and you're like, okay, what am I doing today? When, how many reps? And so they don't have to think about it. I plan it and I just roll it out for them when we get there.
And typically more or less how many women are there?
We could have 8, maybe 5 to 8 on a small day. We could have 20 on a big day. So I have 2 classes that I teach back to back in the mornings.
And so how do you overcome the challenges of people that have to have a modified workout? Is it typically a few people in each class that have to modify it because of an injury or
right? It's usually a couple different people per class, and then it could be different body parts, and I feel like it's almost become a specialty of mine. So, so I've gotten really good at it as time has gone on to figure out, okay, you can't do this. You're gonna, here's a band. You're gonna go down and you'll be on the mat while we're doing, what jumping or whatever, something like that, something more intense. So, yeah, lots of flexibility.
Yeah, that's key. What's your trick to when you wake up? You're like, oh man, I'm just not feeling this today. Everybody thinks the instructor or the personal trainer is always up. Is always. Well, maybe you are, but it's normal. To not. What gets you over that hump? What gets you? I got to figure out a way to get pumped up for my clients.
When I started this, so I wake up at 4:15 a.m. Waking up at 8 a.m. was a big deal for me before this. Yeah,
that was early for you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Kids had 8 a.m. soccer games, and we were like the last to roll in. It was no. So I know everyone in my family was shocked that I did this, but when I started, it was the seeing ladies show up and going, I can't believe they're getting up to come out here and work out with me.
Yeah.
And it just became this, like, I just fed off of that.
Yeah.
You know, it just became something that made it so easy to get up. I mean, there's hard days. There's, you know, nights when you're traveling and you get in really late and maybe you sleep 2 hours, but I always just have it in my head. It's 2 hours. I got to be on. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of the day I can do whatever.
Yeah.
But it's that, you know, 1 or 2 hours that I can, you know, just turn it on. And when you see them show up, it just changes everything.
Yeah. Because it's, you know, the more people I've talked to that are in your position of teaching or training, they've all got their tricks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times it's, let me just get through the warm up.
Yeah.
If I get through the warm up, I've got the rest of the day, the rest of the class licked. Just got to get in there and that'll pump me up.
Yeah. No, that part's not bad. I've learned too. We were talking about the Dodgers, like, you know, weekday games aren't good anymore. You know, like I've changed some things in my life.
Yeah,
so, you know, that I used to do when I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go to the game. And like now I try to make sure those games are not when I have to wake up at 4:15 the next day.
Go to the Sunday afternoon games.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think about the same thing when the Dodgers you get invited to a game or plan to go to a game. Okay, I'm going to be at home at midnight or 1.
Yeah.
That morning workout or anything in the morning is going to suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's when I didn't used to drink coffee either. So not until maybe the last 3 years or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 3 or 4. I had no caffeine at all.
Oh.
And I would do this. So yeah,
and now you have
that kicks in. That helps.
So where do you do the boot camp?
We meet at Mondavi Park, and I've been there for this is my 14th year, but so we've been there this entire time, and it's just in a little neighborhood next to a school, and it's a big park, but it's quiet and
nice.
Yeah,
that works out. So what would be some myths that maybe, you know, I want to do a boot camp, but it's like this. Like, what have you learned from your clients over the years that they thought it was going to be a certain way and it's not?
Well, I think that when I started, boot camp was relatively new, and then more and more, you know, came out. It became a popular thing. This was kind of before CrossFit, so so I think there were some different ones where they thought it was like a military style, a mean instructor yelling at you, you know, stuff like that. So it's definitely not that. I'm encouraging and, you know, I don't yell at people. I don't want anyone to throw up. Like, you know, that's another misconception. Like, you have to come work out till you throw up. No, like I don't want anyone throwing up.
Yeah.
You know, really the biggest thing is just people thinking they need to get fit before they come, which they don't. Okay. I like it better if you're starting at 0. You know, that's the challenge. That's where you get to see somebody grow. And, you know, even in just a matter of 2 to 4 weeks, you're like, you know, and I notice things because I'm walking around watching and I'm like, oh, look at her.
Yeah.
Look what she couldn't do that, you know, and like I'll see certain things like that, and that fuels me, you know, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, and then the other probably biggest thing that people fear is waking up early, you know. So that's kind of what we always get. Yeah, you know, I'm not a morning person. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not. I was not a morning person. So it's just maybe one of those kind of things. Just people tell themselves that, you know, that excuse that I can't get up and do that. And I'm like, well, are you doing it after work? Yeah. And if you're not, then you need to figure out how you can make it work so that you can come and get up.
But at some point, it is a personal choice. It's, okay, I've got the program for you. I know how to train you. But at some point, you have to make the decision to show up.
Right.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It'll be tough for you to do it after work because you're tired at that point.
Yeah.
It might be tough for you in the morning because you don't want to get up in the morning. Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I
am too.
I used to love, well, I still wake up kind of early, but not as early as I used to. It's not as easy for me to work out in the mornings now as it used to be.
Right.
Just don't do it as much. But I'm going to get my workout in. So the one thing I always tell people whenever they talk to me about training and this, I'm like, give it 6 weeks. Stay consistent for 6 weeks. That's when I see bigger changes or things really start to, and boot camps are a month, right?
Yeah. Well, typically 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about making it longer? Like, I mean, you're the one certified and all that. I'm just talking personally. It seems like about the 6 week, if I've slacked off, I never stop working out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll just go through some motions for a while. Like, they're pretty easy workouts before I decide to kick it up again. When I decide to get intense, it's about 6 weeks for me before I notice, okay, running's getting easier now. I can really feel my fitness on the bike coming back. Or, okay, I'm starting to move the weights easier. It's about the 6 week mark. But you're noticing it. Do you ever notice people that repeat class? So they just keep coming back, right? So they do your boot camp and then they just sign up for another one.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Do you notice a difference between the month mark and maybe 2 or 3 weeks after that? Do you see an acceleration in fitness or anything?
I can't specifically say for that amount, but what they generally, if they're not somebody who's previously working out, we use dumbbells. Mm-hmm. And so they'll start with like a 3 or 5 pound weight.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, almost to the 3rd or 4th, probably around the 4th week, I'll hand them some heavier weights, you know? Yeah. And because it's like you obviously are ready. Right. And then so that I feel like they're a little bit excited to come back for that second camp and move up in weight. Okay. And that is maybe something that helps them, you know, kind of motivate and want to come back because they know they're stronger. They know those weights are easy. They're just hitting that stride. Yeah. Like, and so they're kind of like ready to go. And then they see the other girls and see, okay, they're, you know, they've got heavier weights. Like, I want to get to where they are. We run, we warm up around our parking lot. We call that a lap. Like, I couldn't run a full lap when I started. Now I'm running the full lap. I want to run a couple of those in my warm up. I don't want to walk in my warm up or whatever it is. So I think little things like that are the changes, you know, just that they see. When I started and you know, back then in 2007 and 8, and just, you know, a big emphasis was on weight loss. You know, and for us, I always was more about inches, like, you know, just kind of pay more attention to your clothes and how they fit because you're working out, you're getting muscle. But now, 2021, where it's more of how are you feeling, especially with the last 2 years.
So true. How
do you feel? And just how is that carrying you through your day? What's your energy level like? You know, I have the number one career in my boot camp is teachers because they would crash. Oh. You know, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I mean, they were done with their day. So the teachers I have, they come early, they work out, and then it gets them through.
It's the best coffee in the world.
Oh yeah, it gets them through their day. And they love it.
I love that you mentioned, you know, we're not worried about weight. This inches, energy, and all that. That is key. When people stop worrying about the scale, if they can, it's so hard not to.
Oh God, it's the hardest thing. I mean,
I am totally one way or the other for myself. I mean, there's times I want to drop body fat. I never worry about how many pounds I weigh. Sometimes I want my body fat to be lower, and sometimes I want it to be a lot lower. Okay, those are the times I'm getting on the scale. Mm-hmm. If I'm not necessarily worried about cutting body fat, I haven't been on the scale. I don't actually remember the last time. I bet it's been months.
Yeah.
My weight fluctuates, but like you say, figure out your energy level. When I put my pants on in the morning, I know. My pants tell me before my scale does. Like, all right, buddy, you know. But that is so interesting. I bet you've noticed a difference in, you know, they come to you, I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to lose 5. It's all about the weight, right?
Yeah.
And it's changing.
and yeah, I mean, it's changing, and that's great. If somebody's like, I have this event and, and whatever, but what I think also sets me apart is I am not going to be this is our weight loss. We are not going 20 pounds in 6 weeks, anything like that. Those words will not come out of my mouth. Like, I really don't want that to be the emphasis.
And those words aren't going to come out of your mouth. And are you being asked as often now versus in the past about that too? Like, for instance, as an example, of course, on Instagram following, everybody wants to work their booty.
Yeah.
I want a bigger booty. You don't really you hear less about losing weight.
Right.
Versus they want a body transformation.
Yeah.
Maybe a better booty or
yeah,
better shape or in general, more tone.
Right. As time has gone on and the years have gone on as well, my clients are older. And so the bikini body isn't what it is anymore. I want to be able to run and chase my grandkids and do things. It's more of that active lifestyle. I want to go on vacation and I want to go to Hawaii and I want to hike and I want to kayak and, things like that.
Yeah.
So we've kind of turned the corner, maybe just being that we're older. I'll get a few in their 20s. I've had teenagers come. I had one of my biggest weight loss, transformations, so to speak, but which we didn't even know was happening, was a girl in high school. And her grandpa was walking her over in the morning.
Oh, that's
and she would come to boot camp and then she'd go to school and she did PE. And one day she came up and told me that she had lost, I don't know if it was 30 or 40 pounds. And I was just blown away.
Yeah.
But, but it's just that impact that it made on her just from going from not active to active.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see. And that happens a lot where sometimes it's winter and then all of a sudden when, the sweatshirts come off and I'll look at somebody, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah. Because
we're like, who's that?
Right. It is. That's got to be so, you probably never get tired of that. Just seeing that, look at this person, what they just did and how much they changed. Either they're using 7-pound dumbbells now instead of the 3.5 or 4s. And there's so many ways you are rewarded by what you do.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's the best job. I feel like I have the best job in the world.
So do you have any, and then there are clients, I'm sure, that start with you and then stop with you. Stop, and they just can't get over the hurdle of staying consistent. You found any tricks for those people? Are there any, is it 100% personal responsibility to do that? Or do you have any tricks for people that just can't get on that consistent wagon and stay with it?
I think that when people take their time off, for me, I just always want to be that person that they don't feel like, oh, I can't go back. Kind of like a hairdresser, like you maybe switch to someone else. Yeah. And then you're like, ooh, I want them always to know, like, this is the place you can come back. You can start again.
They didn't let you down.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's okay if you went somewhere else. I'm just happy you're exercising. That's great. And I tell people too, and especially, my younger, women that I train, I want you to be able to walk into a gym and feel comfortable and confident based off what you learned here. That you know what to do when you go grab free weights, or, you know that you're squatting okay, or, you could be on vacation and go to a park and get a workout in, doing dips on a bench or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really have anything other than just keeping a good open communication and because it happens all the time.
Right. Yeah,
all the time.
But it does.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, well, he was on the podcast, but we were talking it wasn't on the podcast, we were talking about it, or I don't think we did. And he was saying, John, he says, working out comes easy for him. He likes to work out. He goes, but I will get to a level where I'm okay. I'm feeling good, looking pretty good. I'm not to my goal yet, but I'm good. He goes, and then that's when I start to slack. He goes, and I'll have that cheeseburger. Even though, because I wasn't depriving myself beforehand, because, but I will start to really, you're getting close. He goes, and then I crater. He goes, and then I just not fall off, he continues to work out, but because then I let all those gains go. I let all those results go. And then I have to start over whenever my body and brain decide to get back at it, I have to start over. And he says, I have to figure out a way to break that cycle. And he has broken it, but I haven't talked to him since.
Okay.
He's really kicking butt right now and looking great, and everything, all aspects of his life are just looking good. So I do need to talk to him. But do you see that same thing where people get close and then come on, let's keep at it.
I don't know if I can say that, like where they get that way. Because I honestly have my ladies stay with me for so long. And so I think though that maybe you can get comfortable that you work out and go through times of like, weekend eating, yes. Doing more on the weekends or things like that, or, just slacking off maybe a little bit and stuff. But I don't. Yeah,
you're not seeing too much of that, which is good. A good thing to see. I was just wondering if you did see it.
Yeah. But I do, I do like to social media, I think, is great for keeping just a rapport with people somebody who maybe was in camp 7 years ago or 5 years ago, and I'm still your friend.
Right.
I'm still going to cheer you on, and they always just kind of know we're still here,
Yeah.
And somebody might say something and I'll be like, where to find us, you know where I'll be. So.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the sleep thing a little bit more.
Oh, goodness.
Right. So you were the one, you were saying that you didn't like to wake up early.
No.
Do you notice where is it in the month that where people start, okay, it's not so hard for me to get up early anymore? Or does it ever go away for some of them? Do you notice if it's a week in or 2 weeks in? Or how long did it take you to get easier at it? You're like, hasn't happened yet. I'll let you know.
I'm interesting because I have not, it's been so long, and I've worked on it, but probably not hard enough. Long enough, consistently enough at going to bed earlier.
Yeah.
So even just this weekend, I was like, why are we up at 11:30 on the weekend? For no reason. I want to be consistent. But I noticed that I hear, and I heard it several times from some new campers the last couple months, is that the energy they have later, or the days I don't come to camp, maybe they're, they come just 3 days a week. So, okay, so if I don't come on Tuesday, I'm dragging that day. I feel better the days I come. So as time goes on in their first month, they start to notice that they feel better on the days they come to camp. And if it's a weekend and they're not doing something, so they notice that. They notice those days.
Right. And it's so true. I hear that over and over, no matter what. And and it doesn't really have to pertain to what time you work out.
Yeah.
Get the workout in.
Do the workout. And if you put it off, and that's the thing. And when I trained for this, it was, it was a boot camp for women in the morning, because in the morning, you don't have anything else going on typically. Some people, we have the people who work, we have single moms who can't leave, things like that. But most people, they're not getting texts. Their phones are away. They don't have appointments. You don't have a birthday dinner. Nothing's happening. Everybody else is sleeping. You can leave the house while the family's asleep. You can come back in, get them ready for school, that kind of thing. It's just easier. And I had a boot camp in the evenings, and people called all the time, because who's not exhausted after work? There are days when you're just like, I want to go home and order pizza and,
Those are the hardest workouts, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are natural eating people,
Oh, for sure.
And that's good for them. It works better for them. Not me.
Yeah.
Which I work out in the evening more often than I want to, but it's never a fun one. It's only because I have to get my workout in.
Yeah. Well, and I think you get those benefits during the day.
Every single time, which I've mentioned on this podcast numerous times, the only time I don't feel better after a workout is if I'm getting sick. And I didn't realize I was.
Yeah.
Why am I not feeling good? Why is my energy not up after that workout? Yeah. You usually find out later in the day or the next day that, you were getting sick. Your body was tapping out.
Yeah. And then my motto is just always remember how you feel when you drive away. Like when you're waking up and am I going to go, because I have that. I go right now, I've been going to spin class. So I'll have that, on certain days with spin. Yeah. Like, nope, you know how good you feel when you drive away? Like, that feeling.
I know.
So just get there. Just get there.
Right. So spin, what's your favorite workout?
Right now, I wish I could go to my boot camp, to be honest. Yeah. I have somebody that has a women's boot camp that I follow. She's in Florida, and I want to go to her boot camp. Okay. Nice. I really do. But, I'm right now I'm really loving spin. I've done different things. I've worked out with a trainer and done more weights. And then the last, will be 2 years now that I've just been going to spin pretty regularly. Okay. And group classes are my thing. I'll work out at home by myself. It's not as fun. You'll kind of find an excuse like, I need to put the clothes in the dryer now. Go take a break or something. Yes. But, and I enjoy just hiking and taking our dogs out and things like that. But but right now, and I play soccer, but spin it's just get it done, 45 minutes and gets my heart rate up. And I get a lot of the weight stuff. I try to just grab my weights during boot camp, just, but it's not my workout. Right. So even though I might have 2 or 3, classes a day or whatever, it's really not my workout. Right. I can get in the good abs with everybody because that's something that, usually we just kind of all do together. But yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's been fun talking about, I learned a lot because I didn't know a lot about boot camps in general.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. But what's the best way for people to what's your Instagram?
My Instagram's just my personal, so I don't have one for the boot camp, but I'm pretty sure that's at Lisa Joy Coop. I don't even know. That's so bad. But the boot camp's Bakersfield Adventure Boot Camp, and we have a website, bakersfieldbootcamp.com, and it's also on Facebook for Bakersfield Adventure Boot Camp.
All right. Sounds like,
Yeah.
People, get out there, get in contact with her and go check it out.
Yes.
I might have to come to one.
Go
check it out.
We don't have any guys. But you can come hang out.
And that is when I was doing CrossFit, there were so many girls in there kicking my butt.
I know. Sometimes you don't want.
I'll go with them.
I know. What's awesome though is that nobody cares about what they look like, what they're wearing, and where they're sweating, and so it does have a lot of benefits. Nobody's getting hit on.
That is a nice thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great having you.
You're welcome.